You know, more people are being arrested after the Trump insurgency happened at the U.S. Capitol the other day. So you had people that's been former military, and one of the black police officers said that you had police officers out there, military people out there in the crowd of all of that. Yeah, they really tried to do a coup in the United States of America. And definitely we ain't seen nothing like that happen. So they said a retired Air Force lieutenant colonel who was arrested after he broke into the Senate chamber during the Capitol riot was turned in by his ex-wife. Good job, ex-wife. Turned him in. Say the former wife of Lieutenant Colonel Larry Rendell Brock Jr., 53 years old, he said called the FBI's National Threat Operations Center on Friday to report that she recognized her ex, who was pictured carrying plastic handcuffs and wearing full military gear. And this fool, you know, you can see clearly, Bro Sharif, you put that picture up, this fool, clearly you see him. I mean, out there like that, standing there with the helmet and this other fool pointing. I mean, it's sickening. At the same, it was a good picture of him, she said, and I recognized his patch. Added Brock's ex, she said he was married to him by 18 years. So he was arrested and slapped with federal charges. He said, as well as a Nashville bartender, 30 who attended the Capitol riot with his mom. There was also a picture carrying zip ties and in full military gear. Okay, so that guy name was Eric Munchel. He said he's a bartender, and he's been named as a person in the Senate gallery with the Flex Club. So the one that people say, well, who is this guy? You know, with the handcuffs. You know, the ones he had called Flex Clubs in full gear, and he there with his mama. That's his mama there. Really? I mean, there's another picture of him, you know, walking with his mama, and he had a gun on him. How did you enter the Capitol with a gun and nobody saw that? You weren't supposed to be in D.C. with a gun, but yet he was over there with a gun with his mama. Now, his mama's name is Lisa Eisenhart, 57 years old. She says the left has everything. The media, organizations, the government. We have to organize. We're going to fight back and be heard. Now, she's a nurse. Now, we talk about that medical racism. She's a nurse. She's over there trying to overthrow the government. What has she done to black folks in medical facilities? See, these white supremacists are everywhere. I told y'all that. They are in those hospitals. They are in the grocery stores. They're at the gas station. Everywhere you could think of is permeated with them. And I'm glad that they were so stupid to show themselves. She said this country was founded on revolution. And said if they're going to take every legitimate means from us and we can't even express ourselves on the internet, we won't be able to speak freely. What is America for? She said, I'd rather die as a 57-year-old woman than live under oppression. I'd rather die and I would rather fight. See, this is how they think. See, they not like black folks and say, well, you know, we just have to make do how we make do. You know, or I'm not surprised by this, or no. They said they are not going to live underneath oppression. They say they'd rather die. She said, forget that. She said she'd rather die as a 57-year-old woman. But you know what? Taking any, you understand equality is oppression to them? Not somebody actively putting their foot on their neck. Equality is oppression to them because they've been so used to they having their privilege. And they're so afraid that the Democrats is going to lessen their privilege and just put them on an equal playing field. Because to them, an equal playing field with you is oppression because they know they can't compete with you. You understand? So this is why they're doing what they're doing. This is why they tried to actually overthrow the United States of America the other day. Now, the other fool that we talked about earlier, he already admitted he invaded the Senate floor and roamed Speaker Nancy Pelosi's office dressed in combat gear and carrying zip-tie cuffs. And once again, people told them where to go. That's how they knew where to go, where Nancy Pelosi's office was, folks. Like I said, Babylon is being exposed as the wickedness that it is. They have wickedness in high places, and they shared with them all the intel they needed to go inside there. He said that he thought he was welcome to the U.S. Capitol and claimed he found the zip ties on the floor and merely picked them up so he could hand them to a police officer. Yeah, right, whatever. So they said the FBI is investigating whether Trump supporters who attacked the Capitol was conspiring to hurt lawmakers or take them hostage. Look, black folks get conspiracy charges for much of nothing. Why aren't they getting conspiracy charges? All of them need conspiracy charges too on top of sedition. It was a conspiracy. If you got zip ties, what are you looking to do with them? Take hostages. Now that fool lives actually in Dallas. That's where he lived at, in Dallas. Okay, so we'll start going through some of this court paperwork in another video, because I want to start going through some of their charges and what they're doing, but I want to wait till maybe a live stream to start going through some of this court paperwork. But this is the thing. We've been warning about these people. We've been warning about them. Warning. And nobody want to pay attention, but you always, like I keep saying, if you're always watching black folks, though, you're always watching us. Black identity extremists, any black activist group, you own them like white on rice. You own them. But you're not on these people who are literally insurgents in your country. And like I said, this is what happens when you refuse to deal with white supremacy as well. This is what happens. You chose not to deal with white supremacy after Charlottesville. Now it went to your front doorstep. And lawmakers are fearing, like, oh, AOC said she thought she was going to lose her life that day. Okay, what are you going to do about it? I'm going to keep repeating that. What are you going to do about it? Don't just say you're scared. Don't say how they treat black people versus them. No. What are you going to do to prevent it from happening again? That's all we need to know. But leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the situation, with these paramilitary guys going in there. And they are constantly being identified. And they need to be fired from their jobs. And brothers and sisters, if you know who they are, expose them on who they are, their jobs. Let people know, the feds who they are, because they need to be arrested. Because good and well, if it was black folks and they're looking for you, they'd be telling on you.